Howdy all you beautiful people, my name is Gunnar Clovis, and it's been a while since I played a game for you guys here on this little series, Itchy for Jam. Very silly, pretty niche audience, but I play your free itch.io games and give them my attention and my advice and feedback, critique, as a fellow game developer. I'm a game developer. I've made a lot of games, well over 100 games of all sorts and quality levels. And yeah, I really love playing these games, and it's been a bit, because I was in San Francisco for what turned out to be not GDC, and then had to leave that early due to the Pomona virus. the Barcelona virus, the Barracuda virus, which is happening right now. We're all sealed inside for COVID-19, and and I just want to finally get back to one of these games. So this is Underwear Man vs. Zombies, the Super 8-bit Rafa game. A big header here, which is good. Having those big headers is very good. It's running a little bit high. I don't know. I mean, I could read it, but I don't know. The black text just feel like it's just kind of hitting his head against the the top of the webpage. But yeah, this is made by Super 8-bit Rafa, as it said. Who I haven't played the game for yet. Ooh, that's a very good page. That's a very good logo. That's excellent. Yes, the Super 8-bit Rafa clearly seems to be some kind of artist. Yes, it works well with different kind of fonts here. American 8-bit font, yellow and graffiti, and yeah. I'll say I don't particularly love this kind of art style, but it looks good. It looks very well done, very well done. It's a great logo. It's really good with this background of what I assume is their previous art. And yeah, that's a fair few games. Fair few games. Nothing to scoff at there. Yep, and you see some of those characters for sure. No, they're all Windows downloads, or the rare Windows downloads with an Apple build. We can see. Wish, I always say, and if you're using any major engine like Unity or GameMaker or Unreal, export your games to WebGL. HTML5. Make your games playable in browser. It makes them so much better and way more accessible. You get way more views, way more plays. It's just reducing barriers between you and your players, which is the most important thing. The easier it is for the player to start within your game, the better. But besides from that, we can't play it in the browser, which I really wish we could. That would make it so much better, and honestly, I'd be I base the games I'm gonna play largely based on how much time I have, because I don't have a lot of time to record these videos here. I'm gonna cut it really close. I hope I can do this video pretty quickly. And so yeah, I based it based on how long I think they'll take. And a Windows download game, it adds a little bit more time. It's really negligible, I know it is, but it's a perception thing. And anything that's in the browser, I know is safe. I know that's secure, right? Unless they're doing something really fancy. But when we just download a Windows file, which I have done to play the game, as you know, I always do. I mean, this could be a virus, and that's just how it is, and that really sucks. But besides from the fact we can't play the game in browser, this is a good web page. It has some nice colors. It's very simple. It's just kind of a solid color backgrounds, but that's fine. Really great logo. 8-bit Rafa I'll call him Rafa. Rafa seems to clearly really excel at these kind of big logos, which is great. You see the colors, the gradients, little blood particles, little glow and shine, the bevel and the outline, and this little shadow fade thing. All great. Oh, look at that. Versus font. Really great. Then it has the controls in a little table, which I like. I've taken to using tables to list my controls as well. I don't know about this font. The font's very loud, and I don't know. It just seems. I kind of wish one side was like a little different than the other side or something. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just being weird about that. That has a video for development, as you can see. I watched a little bit of that. I was trying to gauge how long this game would be. I didn't. You saw it submitted to Weekly Game Jam 138, but I didn't know if this was a game he was actually working on for a really long time. According to the video, it seems it wasn't. He made it properly within the week. We won't watch that video because it's too long. for what I want this video to be. But yeah, what do you do when a zombie outbreak happens and you're still in your underwear? Grab your zombie buster sword and kick ass in your briefs. Yeah, so great, simple bio, but has controls, has the logo, and then most importantly has a video. Video's great. A lot of games do not have a video for a game jam. And then, yeah, has a bunch of good screenshots, very good screenshots. And so obviously this is a 3D game, which is very impressive for a game jam. I'm always impressed by 3D games for game jams because it adds a lot more work, typically. Yeah, and it has some stuff. I also saw it says it's finally here. One of the comments, I didn't know if this was, again, a game he was developing for a really long time, he or she. I'll say he. But yeah, not a ton more to analyze with this, so let's just jump into the game. Again, this happened to think I always say, when I unzipped the file, it made Underwear Man V2. For a little bit more clear naming convention here, because that lowercase v kind of butts against the man, so it kind of blends together. You can use some underscores to really separate that out. So it's just very clear. And I mean, you can also just use spaces as well, right? And then when I unzipped, it made these two folders. It had a Mac OS folder, and then I guess the Windows folder. And that's good if you're making your game both playable on Mac and Windows, although that's not actually listed here. On the page, it just says Windows, so why is there even a Mac folder? If it is playable on Mac because of that weird folder, then you should have the Mac logo, right? And that's really important. If you don't have that, then people aren't going to think they can play your game on Mac, which is a big deal. And that prevents how itch can market your game, or rather, show it in their search algorithm. So yeah, if your game is playable on Mac, list that. But again, also just make it as playable to many platforms as possible. With Unity, all the export packages are free for Unity, right? So you can just export it for Mac and Linux and WebGL. Wish it was playable in browser. Really prefer if it was playable in browser. Although having the Windows kind of download alternative is good too. But yeah, when I opened up Underwear Man 2, I have to click twice through a second folder, so then we see it's Underwear Man 2, Underwear Man 2. It's really awkward. Again, it's just kind of putting barriers between the player. Again, it's really small. I know. If it seems like a nitpick, but from an outside perspective, it isn't as nice. It feels a little bit less professional, and just something that's so simple. I really recommend not letting this happen. If this actually makes the game playable on Mac, I'd say put that in a separate download, because I don't need that in my Windows download, right? So just make it as quick as possible. But anyway, this has Underwear Man vs. Zombies as a logo. I mean, I always say really good to set custom logos, basically no matter what they are. Reusing that little banner from here doesn't work the best as a logo. You can read the Underwear Man versus Zombies, but then it has like the little text at the top. I think this would have been perfect if you literally just cropped that text on the top and maybe put it on a solid color, maybe a square or a circle behind that text, so it really popped and yeah, looked more like a full logo. But it's good that you have a custom logo at all. It makes it so much better instantly than all of like the really bland default Unity games that don't have a logo. It makes it a lot more professional just to have any logo. And again, it doesn't say Unity project.exe or whatever it is. It says, but it doesn't say Underwear Man vs. Zombies.exe. It says hack.exe. So that's kind of weird. That is because the weekly game jam theme for 138 was hack, I believe. Yes. And Rafa took that to mean hack and slash, as I learned from this little video. I didn't watch the full thing, but I watched a couple minutes of it. And so that's cool. That makes sense. But from an outside player's perspective, yeah. And again, they imagine someone playing it that didn't know the game jam or doesn't care. It's just weird. Your exe should always be the name of your game, because it's not that much work to do. So just always let that happen. And again, this is one of the benefits of making your game run in WebGL. We don't have to go through this screen, which is again it's another little barrier between you and the player playing your game, which add up. They really do. So I have to go through all of those silly menus. All that. Okay, that's nice. Has a little logo again. Okay, music starts. Okay. So I'm instantly in the game and I'm in control. 3D model, 3D animations. I have nice little idle animation. But my mouse is kind of trapped. I wish my mouse disappeared because I'm not... Yeah, it's a trapped mouse game where I'm using that to control the camera. So I really don't need to know that. But yeah, I'm doing WASD. It told me the controls on the game page, but I'm going to forget that because I'm a player. So yeah, I'm pressing space. Okay, space does make me jump. I press space. Yeah, here I'm pressing space. Okay. The jump on space seems to be... Okay, you can really short hop, which is kind of weird for a 3D hack and slash game. Yeah, there I press space and it doesn't do anything. Again. Yeah, okay, so the jumping seems a little jank. Yeah, okay, there I pressed and held space and it didn't jump. Do I need to be standing still? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, okay, the jumping is kind of inconsistent. I swear I'm pressing space and, like, not the majority of the time, but, like, yeah, some of the time it doesn't work, which is kind of weird. Alright, yeah, and of course I can clip through the rocks because it's gonna happen with 3D game. To not do that requires a ton of really, really hard, very difficult and time-consuming camera work that I do not expect anyone to do for a Game Jam game. Really, any indie game, like, it's fine. So yeah, I can click to attack, which is pretty cool. Ooh, I can right-click and do a roll. That's pretty sick. Yeah, so I instantly have a lot of stuff going on. I can move and jump and roll. I can roll in midair. I can slash in midair. Cool. Very nice. And yeah, and the 3D animations look really good. It looks like there's like some solid squash and stretch there. You can see how the sword seems to distort, which is actually, yeah, that's not trivial at all. To do this in a week for Game Jam, I don't know how much free time he had for that week, but it's good. Again, yeah, here I just pressed space and it didn't work there. Okay, but now I'm up. Okay, so yes, they're zombies. Zombies. Yeah, so I love the physics effects, love the ragdoll. That stuff is great. That's can be very, very little work for the payoff, right? Because then you basically get infinite free animations with the physics, and you know you're just using Unity physics, right? Very nice. I love how the bodies fall apart. That is one of the best ways to do that. Okay, so I seem to take damage. I was trying to kill them all without taking damage, but even my constant sword clicking, they will kind of go through. All right, little bit of problems with collision there, but again, really not a problem. The fact that this is a 3D game for a weekly game jam, already super impressive. And yeah, this game seems to have like a really fair amount of content. Normally the 3D games I see for weekly game jams are similar, are like really simple, really broken. There's good blood particle effects when you slash those zombies, which is really nice. Oh god, yeah. The bodies falling apart is so great. Jumping is just kind of not working part of the time, though. Alright, they got little fire particle effects over there, though they seem kind of random, like they're just on rocks. Okay, and that is where I'm supposed to go. I might be able to massage my way through here, but that's not the right thing to do. Oh geez, zombies, zombie boy. Yeah, zombies do not notice me until I get pretty close. And they're pretty chill, they don't really alert their friends. Yeah, so I can just kind of hash. I guess I just wasn't clicking fast enough the first time. If I click at a decent rate, they just can't touch me. And so there have been sound effects. That is the sound effect. It's not the best sound effect, though. It's a little limp. But again, this is a Game Jam game, and it's very, very complicated 3D game. So, like, cut this. Lots of slacks. Particularly this man. This man clearly needs to be cut some slacks. See, has this fire? Will it hurt me? It is not. Oh. Oh, is that a different? No, I think it's all the same zombie model. I think. And it's a pile of cans, I think. Yeah, so I love how they can kind of keep coming without their heads and limbs and stuff. It's very funny, very cute. Yeah, so the game bay is not particularly engaging. I just kind of run up to stuff and smack them until they die. Not really any skill or strategy to it. But that's indicative of a lot of hack and slash games, honestly. If I'm frank, it's not my favorite genre, because it's very, very hard to do well. It's incredibly hard. I think Rafa has done a great job. Like all the little simple level design and moving through these different corridors and stuff. It's a little hampered again by how the camera clips through objects, but again, that's very difficult to not do. It requires a lot of work and skill as an engineer, and takes way more time than you have in a weekly game jam. That's something AAA studios spend a very long time on. So yeah, I went around that way, but okay, I actually couldn't make it through here. So I could walk through the fire before, but there's clearly some kind of invisible barrier specifically on this part. Okay, cool. All right, yeah, and it feels kind of inconsistent on which. I guess that's a different thick, width of corridor, but like I could clearly fit through that, right? And so that kind of stuff never feels great. All right, now we're using the crates to make kind of more very unrealistic platforms, but that's good to kind of vary the terrain and level design. We want that. Oh, jeez, yeah. So now I'll run away, and I think I heal up. Not really? I don't know. Yeah, so there does seem to be a pretty maximum limit on how fast I can slash. If I increase my clicking speed, it doesn't really go up. But again, not really a lot of skill or strategy here. He put in this great roll. And like has good custom animation and everything. Oh, look at this guy! I love him. Oh my god. Yeah, this game's very cute, very silly, with its ragdoll physics and everything. Ah, guy's eyes. But it's getting pretty tedious. It's impressive how long this level is, how much he plotted out. But the gameplay, it's all the same. There's no gameplay variety, and there's no skill. So actually, I recently put out a talk that is exactly this. It's exactly this kind of thing that I was talking about, and this game is literally perfect for my talk. This is the exact kind of target audience that talk was aimed at. That talk was creating fun with pacing and flow. And yeah, it applies to all games. It's kind of an intermediate level talk, yeah, on a scale of beginner, intermediate, advanced, expert. So not that hard, but expecting you'd made a few games before. And yeah, really, I made it originally for a game jam, actually, when I was speaking at an event. And yeah, it's kind of for if you had made a game at a game jam that works like this. This is a friggin', look at this. This is a game, and it is made really short time frame in a game jam, and it works. I haven't noticed really a single bug yet. It's just some kind of level design terrain stuff. But yeah, everything's kind of working as intended, as far as I can tell as the player. But it's not particularly fun. It's not, and I think everybody knows that, and that's not a big deal. It's nothing. I don't think that's mean to say, and it's nothing to be ashamed of, because again, this game is very, very impressive for its time frame. For, I believe, a solo developer, incredibly impressive. Ton of work put into this, and a really, really great job with it. But that doesn't make it fun. Making a game by itself, making a game playable, does not make it fun, does not make us want to replay it. So in that talk, creating fun with pacing and flow, I talk about a few things, but it's mainly focused on these ideas of flow state, which a lot of people are familiar with, because that kind of blew up in the game development community a few years ago. That is a psychology theory by, if I can remember how to say his name, Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. He was a Hungarian-American psychologist. He's kind of the leading expert in happiness psychology, in positive psychology, we call it. And, okay, is this the ending? Little train station? Yeah, it looks like it. Oh my god, there's another level. Wow. I was expecting a UN screen. There's another level, although I can fall off. Oh, I can climb back up. Oh, I kind of want to fall off to see what happens. I don't know if I'll break the game, though. And if I'm pressing R, it doesn't seem to have a restart built in. Pressing escape doesn't have a pause built in. I'll press P. Yeah, I really want to jump off here. Really do. It's weird that there is an invisible barrier. That's very odd. But I don't want to ruin it for Rafa, so I'll continue through. But yeah, so in that talk, I just talk about flow state, which is balancing the player's skill level with the difficulty of the game. And so the idea, flow state is this great immersive experience that was not designed for games, designed for general psychology and kind of studying happiness. And flow state is like the ideal state of happiness, of the greatest happiness you can really have. And people really have that with games. Flappy Bird, when that came out many years ago now, was really cited for inducing very intense flow state in its players, where you just kind of lose sense of everything else and you're just focused on the game, and everything else falls away and you're having lots of fun. And very immersive, very important and effective. And it's hard to achieve. It is. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi laid out, I think it was 10 circumstances that are necessary, or at least in part, to cause flow state. And it's amazing to me how, like, obviously applicable, highly applicable it is to games, but it was just made for a completely different purpose. It's great. And so that balancing act between the player's skill and the game's difficulty is really important. And that's something this game is not really doing. And again, it's not the fault of the game developer at all. This was made in a week. And this is a very complicated 3D game with, like, multiple freaking stages and everything. And, like, the one stage was impressively long, I felt. Like, this is a lot of content. It's not any new content. It's just the same zombies, same fire, same roads and everything, put together in different level designs. I'm still very impressed with this. I'm very impressed. Oh, jeez. But the game's very easy. It's very easy. Okay, there's some zombies. So I can't really see those because, these other ones just kind of fell from the sky. That one did. Okay, there's some problems with the collision there. But yeah, because of how my camera is constrained. Oh yeah, see, they just kind of fall out of nowhere. That's not terrible, especially because of how easy it is to dispatch these zombies. That can be a very good thing to shake it up. See, I've aggroed those zombies, but they can't fall off the ledge, and I'm trying to get them to. Oh well. Yeah, again, the jump was being kind of non-responsive there. But yeah, because this game is so easy, it doesn't really take much of any skill on my part, and I feel like I'm more skillful than this. I'm not amazing at video games, but I could handle a bit harder of a game. This is about as complicated and skillful as I can get within the circumstances of the game. Just kind of aggro a bunch, run away, and then slash them all on a line so they can't hurt me. Oh my god, I love that animation so much. It's amazing. I should have been traveling this way the whole game. Why wasn't I doing that? What a fool I am. So this game could be improved a lot if the difficulty was raised to match my skill level and allow me to perform and learn more skillful maneuvers. That is, why a hack and slash game like Dark Souls is really fun for a lot of people. It's very hard, very skillful. There's a balancing act there, and different players will prefer different things. Wow, it seems like I'm not running away from them. They're just staying on pace. I thought I outran them. But yeah, there's not a ton needed for this game. And the other thing I talk about in that talk is flow. Is not. The other thing I talk about in that talk besides flow is pacing. Pacing and flow. And so pacing, everyone's familiar with. It applies to pretty much all forms of media, any activity. It's the tension over time is the best way to think of it. And so it could be kind of the excitement. It's a lot of variance over time is the best way to do it. And I break down like the Star Wars A New Hope movies pacing, which is kind of the gold standard that a lot of game developers like BioWare, for example, explicitly copy for their games, which make them very good. It's this kind of big burst of action, this big hook, we call it. To get the player involved and invested and show them that exciting stuff is going to happen. And then, they're not attacking me. Huh, weird. You're showing them that exciting stuff is going to happen in this game, but then we slow down. We have rises, peaks in the tension, which actually I do think this game is happening due to the level design, but still, it could be very much improved. Because even though there is difference, what I call horizontal changes in the gameplay, there's difference in the number of zombies appearing, at least slightly. They come in these different clumps and clusters at different rates. But I'm still just doing the exact same thing. I'm still just slashing the sword. I'm just clicking mouse 1, I move forward after they're all dead. It's the same thing over and over, and so it's very, very monotonous, and that is not particularly fun. A very important aspect of fun is variety and variance. That's why games often did mini games and that kind of thing. Although actually, I don't think mini games are the best way to do that. They're kind of a crutch. Not that mini games are inherently bad. I like mini games. I like games with mini games for sure. But I don't know. I feel the games we look to as masterpieces, or at least I do, like your Portals and your XCOMs, they tend to kind of stand on their own gameplay merits and their fundamental design less than, the abundance of side stories, side kind of gameplay situations with mini games, etc. And so like I have 4 actions in this game. I can move, I can jump, I can slash, and I can roll. And the roll doesn't really achieve much, just kind of, it doesn't even seem like it actually makes me move faster. I thought it did, but the zombies kept up pace with me, so I guess not. And so what's the point of it? Why am I doing this? Why would I ever do anything except just run up and press mouse 1 until they're dead? It's exactly what I've been doing all game. And because that's the only thing that's really made available in my toolkit that's relevant or helpful or needed, which is an important thing. Okay, so is there going to be another level? There is. Holy crap. Oh, yeah, I was worried this game would be long, but it was like, it's a 3D game made in a week. How long could he possibly make it? 3 levels long, apparently. Ooh, and it's kind of breaking down now. Oh, I like it. I like those little black spacey particle effects. Very cool. All right, so he must expect me to fall into the void now, right? Because it's platforming now. Which, there wasn't really much platforming before. It was just kind of a slight... Oh, yeah, see, there I fell. All right, cool. It does reset. That's good. I'm glad that happens. Earlier there wasn't much platforming. I think this game could have utilized platforming a lot more earlier. Although with a 3D game, 3D platforming can be very tough to pull off because it's difficult to show the player where they're going to land. Judging distance in a 3D game, very, very difficult. Like this, it's a design problem that 3D platformer designers have tackled for a very long time. They have different solutions to it. A shadow is a pretty good one, and this player actually does have a shadow, but it's like this more realistic Unity shadow. It doesn't actually tell me where I'm gonna land. You see that? And see, in there I jumped, but it didn't recognize my input. That's just kind of funky that I'm pressing spacebar and it ignores me. See, there it did again. Can I make it? Yeah, it's very difficult to judge distance when doing that. Oh, I hope we don't fall off later and have to restart at the beginning. You don't want to generally sink your player into something where they have to restart from the beginning after a very long stretch. It's just very frustrating. Yeah, so here if I fall off onto one of these crates, oh, thank God. Oh, God, see, it wasn't jumping there. All right, here's a bigger zombie that's just kind of hanging out. Yeah, I like them. They're good boys. And I love the crawly ones. Yeah, so he could scale them, so why wasn't there a variance in zombies then? If he could make big zombies, and you could make small zombies, and yeah, do that so that there's more gameplay variety. So yeah, it looks like I am maybe gonna fight some bigger zombies. Maybe this is... Yeah, see, they're bigger. So yeah, this should have been happening. It still doesn't change the fundamental gameplay. It doesn't. I still just walk up and hit them. Also, it's kind of weird that when they get knocked out of range, they revert to their idle state. I think they should still be switched on to their attack mode. That's kind of funky. I think their idle state is very, very... Yeah, so now I fight a big boss giant zombie. Although there's a small one to be more annoying. Okay, when he died, he just kind of falls apart. Oh, okay, now we're just gonna walk through a pile of zombies into the metro. There we go. Thank you. Thanks for playing. Press R to restart, press escape anytime to quit. And then his socials. All right. Very cool. So yeah, that was Underwear Man versus Zombies. A lot of content in this game. Much more than I expected. Yeah, so now I'm pressing escape. It doesn't work. Escape does not quit. Q does not quit, so I have to Alt F4, which I really don't like. Really, really recommend that your games always quit on escape. And also just restart them escape. All throughout that game, I should have been able to press restart and restart at the beginning of the level that I was in. That should pretty much always be the case, no matter what your game is. Very, very rare exceptions for that. But yeah, that was, Underwear Man versus Zombies. Very good. Very, very good. Very, very impressive for a weekly game jam. A lot of detail set into the models, custom animations, all, you're slashing, you're rolling, you're jumping, and then 3 rather big levels. I've actually never seen a 3D weekly game jam game this big and this complicated and kind of finished. And yeah, it's a finished game. Again, I don't think it's necessarily the most fun game, which is, again, not a bad thing, and not anything to feel bad about. It's just a result of trying different genres and working with time constraints. And again, I think hack and slash is a very hard genre to make fun, at least for me. Maybe my barrier for finding hack and slash games fun is just a little bit higher than most people. That's certainly be the case. But yeah, no, this is very, very well done. And yeah, could be taken further. I doubt it will be, which it doesn't need to be. I think it's good to just crank out jam games and learn from them, get some practice and move on, add to your portfolio. But yeah, if this was to be worked with further, I would really look into the fundamental mechanics and actions of this game, and how they could be made more interesting and more varied, so that the pacing could be different, and so they could more properly have a kind of flow state with the skill of the player versus the difficulty of the game. And just kind of doing different stuff, because just kind of walking up and hitting left mouse one to kill and slash, I don't find particularly fun. Again, I could be wrong on that. Other people might find it fun, which is awesome. Great for them. There's no bad way to enjoy a game. If you're enjoying the game, that's great. It doesn't matter what game it is or how you're enjoying it. I'm happy you're enjoying it. But yeah, that was Underwear Man versus Zombies. And I haven't mentioned so far in this video, but I think rather obviously, I look a little different. I finally switched over my avatar artwork. I've actually been sitting on this new artwork for quite a while now. This is by my new, my artist friend Katie. All new artwork for the channel. which I'm going to be using everywhere I need to like re-upload my itch profile. I had this original art made by my friend Adrian many years ago. And yeah, I wanted to just have more poses so I could do more expressions. Obviously, I can't do that a lot of the time just due to time constraints. And yeah, that's going to be the case for this one. I can't really animate anything for this video because I really need to render it and get it up as soon as I can, which I'm not even sure if I'll be able to in time. But yeah, it's new art style, and you can definitely see more of this in the future. Again, we have a lot of great poses for this that I just don't have time to animate for this one, I'm sorry. But this was Underwear Man vs. Zombies. Really great game by Super 8-Bit Rafa. Very, very impressive for a weekly game jam, as it's just a really full, feature-complete, non-buggy 3D hack-and-slash game. Very, very cool. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any games you'd like me to play, please drop me a link on the channel. Love to hear from you. I will be playing all the Super 8-Bit Rafa's games, most likely in the future, but it takes a long time. It takes a really long time for me to get through people's games. And again, when it's a Windows download only game, and when I'm choosing which game I want to play late in the day when I have time to record these videos, I tend to choose in-browser games because I know they're going to be quicker. But yeah, remember to wash your hands, stay inside, practice social distancing, trust those around you, even when sometimes that trust is broken. Don't give up those feelings of trust and loyalty. Don't let hatred enter your heart. You know, hatred is a very heavy burden to bear. And yeah, just be honest with each other and with yourselves. Don't talk behind people's backs. That's really rather lame and rude to do. Be nice to everyone around you, including yourself. Do some push-ups and have a lovely day. Goodbye.